win, lose or draw, every person on every boat will have their story at some point during the race, and that is the fascination of the Volvo Ocean Race. If you're having a bad leg, that bad leg can go on for day after day, maybe week after week, so that makes it particularly stressful.
God damn it. We didn't deserve this.
There are times where you just want to pick up a wind channel and throw it through the bottom of the boat, you know, and you just can't do it. You're cold, you're wet, you're freezing, you're hot, you're sleep deprived, and you're probably hungry for 9 months.
Ultimately, you don't know where the limit is until you cross it, and then it can punish you hard.
There were times in the last race that I could stop and look around and say, man, oh man, there's no place on earth I'd rather be right now.
You get to go racing some really unique, cool parts of the world. So there's a lot on offer with this race.
Danger is what you put yourself into, you know, and sometimes you don't have a choice. Sometimes Mother Nature puts danger upon you that there's no way out. Eventually you're going to sit there in your living room again with a family, you know, being a family again. And that's always something to look forward to.
Leaving the docks really hard. The day you can't go out and race at the same as intensity as you were when you were 23, well, the day you can't do that, then you've got to step ashore.
In 1973, a select few yachtsman adventurers cast themselves into the unknown in a race around the planet, returning with stories of rounding the world's great capes, roaring 40s and the furious 50s. Almost 4 decades later, a new breed of yacht and sailor continues the tradition. In 2011, though, the race is faster, the ride wilder, the risks higher. But before the boats depart on their epic ocean voyage, first the curtain raiser, the cut and thrust of the Iberdrola import race in the home port of Alicante. It's the first opportunity for the crowds who thronged to the race village to see the new breed of Volvo Open 70s in full flight, and in particular Team Telefnica, the home boat in the first import race. It's the third successive Volvo Ocean Race appearance for Team Telefnica, a primarily Spanish crew that boasts 15 world titles and 3 Olympic gold medals between them, led for the first time by 33-year-old Spanish sailing legend Iker Martinez.
Para mí ser el skipper del barco, lo primero es una gran oportunidad. Es una...
First of all, being the skipper of Telefnica is a great opportunity. It's a different way of facing the race. It means more responsibility and therefore more work. But it's something that excites me. Like everything new, it makes me a little nervous, but I enjoy it.
Pues de alguna manera me pone un poquito nervioso, pero me gusta. Nuestro equipo...
The Telefnica team is a Latino team, primarily made up of Spanish people, but with other nationalities such as Argentina, Uruguay and Brazil. It's a very Latin team. Everyone knows what the Latin aspect means.
Muy latino, ese aspecto latino, ¿no? Intentamos ser...
We try to be serious and organised, but we like adding an artistic touch, putting talent into what we do and trying to have a good time whenever possible.
Pues poner talento en ello y luego intentando pasarlo lo mejor posible.
Their last Volvo Ocean Race campaign resulted in 3rd place overall and victory in the import race series. And for the Telefnica team, who've accumulated enough sea miles between them to equal 2 trips to the moon and back, flying the Spanish flag in a race starting in Alicante is a career highlight.
For Spain, it's very important to have a team in the race, for the host and start port of Alicante and for the spectators. If there wasn't a Spanish entry, everything would be different.
There are 6 teams contesting this edition of the Volvo Ocean Race. The fleet boasts 5 new boats and 1 prior competitor, but that boat has pedigree. In its previous incarnation as Telefnica Blue, Team Sanya's yacht finished 3rd overall and won the Alicante import race in 2008. Team Sanya is the first sole Chinese entry in the Volvo Ocean Race and marks the return of one of the most experienced Volvo skippers of the modern era, New Zealander Mike Sanderson, who won emphatically in 2005-2006 in what was the culmination of a life's dream.
It really was my Everest. It really was. My whole career was based around trying to be a winning skipper of a Volvo boat.
But Sanderson faces his toughest Volvo challenge yet. The late start to Team Sanya's campaign means they're competing against brand new Volvo Open 70s with a last generation yacht. And that requires a brand new approach to the race.
I think what we're trying to create with Team Sanya is slightly cheeky, opportunistic. We're kind of poised, waiting for you to slip up so that we can seize our day. In pure boat speed standpoint, we're not going to be there. And so we need change, we need mix, we need breakdowns, we need opportunities. And because of the calibre of this fleet, it's probably going to happen less than it's ever happened before.
The late start has meant that Sanderson has mostly relied on experienced crew, but there is one exception. Ten Jiang He, known as Tiger, is making his Volvo Ocean Race debut.
I think one thing which we've worked really hard at is that Tiger, our Chinese sailor, is actually a real participant in the team. We've always wanted him to really genuinely contribute, and contribute as any team member contributes. And we've worked really hard with him, and he genuinely does. And I think people will see that and buy into the story because of that.
Out on the racecourse, the boats are jostling for prime position in the all-important start of the Iberdrola import race. Well, we're into less than a minute to go now, just heading on for 45 seconds. We're on board with Groupama, the French boat. There's the start line. We're coming up to the 30-second mark, and Peter Lester will call us down through the race now as we watch the crews begin to all bunch up, and this is it, the start, all important of the first of these, the Iberdrola import race.
Well, all the boats are setting up on port, so there's no issues of starboard boats coming in and tacking the fleet. So all boats on port with 17 seconds to go. It's about time on distance. Groupama just down to leeward of Camper, and then Telefonica up to windward. Telefonica just nothing as they come down towards the start. Groupama right at the boat end. Camper are in a great position, and then to windward of Camper, Abu Dhabi are looking very strong and well bow forward. Puma up towards the windward end of the line, over towards the pin.
The big black sails in the middle of the picture there of Abu Dhabi at the top, followed by Camper. And these Abu Dhabi and Camper were the front runners yesterday in the rehearsal. 3 bows, absolutely neck and neck. It doesn't get tighter than this.
No, it's pretty good. This may be what the Volvo is the rest of the way around. Those 3 boats are going exact same speed. It's going to be crew handling and how they come out of the next tack.
Interesting to look at the numbers. We've got the benefit of virtual eye showing us the figures here. They're up into double figures. And it's, well, we're looking now also at the crew. The crew's absolutely eyeballing each other. This is as tight as you can get. Peter, nerve-wracking stuff for these guys.
Well, we'd expect them to stay on port. The tack they're on, they've got a lane, but it's Abu Dhabi who have actually pushed forward a little bit on Camper. And the boat up to windward of Camper and Abu Dhabi, we've got Puma. She's going very nicely in that windward position.
What a view here for the... this is literally an inshore race, an in-port regatta. And the whole idea of this is to bring the racing to the people, bring Volvo Ocean Racing, give them a taste of it. Well, what a taste they're getting today in this Iberdrola import race. Spain has a second team entered in this year's race, sponsored by Camper, the international footwear brand based in Palma, Mallorca, which has combined forces with Emirates Team New Zealand, one of the world's most prestigious professional sailing teams.
The partnership from Emirates Team New Zealand and Camper has been amazing from day one. It really has been a unique way to do it. Bring the skill sets of Emirates Team New Zealand, the design team, the construction, and then the build and commissioning in New Zealand. If I was to sit back 2 years ago and go, how would you want to get the best Volvo 70? That would be the path you would choose.
Camper with Emirates Team New Zealand is led by Australian Chris Nicholson on his fourth lap of the world, courtesy of the Volvo Ocean Race. But this is his first as skipper. Nicholson has surrounded himself with a seasoned crew of Volvo veterans, many returning for the third or fourth campaign for the same reasons as their skipper.
We've done 11,000 miles and most of them been very harsh miles, a lot of them in the New Zealand winter. And we haven't had one complaint, one gripe. We've got a solid base, and that's beside when you look at their skill sets. There's a different atmosphere with this crew than any crew I've been with in the past.
The Camper Emirates Team New Zealand crew is oozing confidence, content in their team and, more importantly, in their boat.
There's not one single decision that was made for this boat that was made with risk. Like, we researched and we researched, and then we went back and we researched it again. Even some of our features on the boat, we pulled them back in a bit and went a little bit more conservative than what the modelling had showed us to go to, because there's too much at stake.
Back on the racecourse, Camper is chasing hard as the boats head up for the first beat.
And it's Abu Dhabi now who look like they've pushed forward on Puma.
OK, well, we're into now, this is getting into the sharp end of this beat now, and this is where the crew work is going to be all important, because these boats, especially when it's light airs like this, they're even to some extent harder to get going, obviously. So it's going to be a question of getting the manoeuvre right, getting your timing right,
well, Martin,
and then getting the acceleration.
The rules now come into play. The boat's on starboard, and that's what Abu Dhabi have just popped onto starboard. Same with Camper. And it's Abu Dhabi who are the right-of-way boat. Puma required to keep clear. They must keep clear, and that will mean that they'll dip both boats. So now Puma come down under Abu Dhabi. They'll have to dip Camper. So as long as Abu Dhabi are on the ley line to the top mark, they will lead at Mark 1 of the Volvo Ocean Race. It looks like Abu Dhabi are a little bit short on that ley line. Just looking at that, they look a bit quiet.
Jerry Kirby are out there. It sure is light under that bluff.
Yes, it's very light and shifty, and you know, it's interesting watching Telefnica and Sanjay come up. This could be a situation where they get a puff from behind and get right back into this race.
Well,
lovely set by Abu Dhabi. They were around, and the yellow Jenica is up. Camper still coming round. They haven't got their Jenica up yet. We can see Puma getting their red A2 hoisted. So Camper are now on their way down to leg 2.
And further down the track, you can just see from this helicopter shots, and you can see where the breeze is further down the track, and that's what here on board Abu Dhabi Ocean Racing, that's what they're heading for now. Groupama come in now around the Iberdrola buoy in this Iberdrola import race. Groupama is led by one of the stars of world multi-hull sailing, a yachting hero in France, 38-year-old Frank Camas, skippering the first French entry in the Volvo Ocean Race for almost 2 decades.
C'est plutôt une fierté d'être à nouveau à la tête d'un...
It is an honour to be in charge of a French entry of a Volvo Ocean Race. It has been 20 years since there's been a French team involved. We still have a lot to learn. We've been working on this project for 2 years, and we have learned how to manage and understand these types of boats. But it is positive pressure to skipper the French team of this Volvo Ocean Race.
Camas comes to the Volvo fresh from success in the Jules Verne Trophy, where he and his 9-man team set a record for the fastest circumnavigation of the planet in a sailing vessel.
We started just when the previous race finished. We asked ourselves what to do after the round the world Jules Verne record. Of course, we thought of doing another round the world with a crew, but at a higher level. This had to be the Volvo Ocean Race.
A talented sailor and a formidable adversary, Camas has a long record of offshore racing achievements. In 73 races aboard Groupama boats, he's racked up 60 podium finishes and 33 wins. And he leads an international team well versed in the demands of the race.
I had the responsibility of putting a crew together in order to do the Volvo Ocean Race. I had no experience in this event, so I didn't know who the best sailors, suppliers or designers were. I had to rely on people such as Damien Foxall or Laurent Page, who knew well the Volvo Ocean Race. They introduced me to this new world.
J'ai démarré avec ces gens-là qui m'ont introduit un petit peu dans ce monde-là.
Back on the racecourse, the boats are en route to Mark II.
It looks very quiet at the bottom, Mark.
Yeah, it's not only quiet. I think this is going to turn into a jibe.
Really?
Yes, they may be holding on to their spinnakers and VMG sailing away. And as the boats in the back close up, you could see some passing.
Well, all those spectator boats there were on board here with Camper, with Emirates Team New Zealand. Chris Nicholson calling the shots. This is what we're going to do now, boys. Get ready.
See how this unfolds, Martin. I think Jerry's called this one. Just going out with a 0. And the Jenica will drop on the new windward side. That's turned into a little bit of an easier manoeuvre. Look at Ian Walker just rocking, show of nerves as he brings the boat ever so gently round Mark II. Camper coming into Mark II. What are they going to do? I suspect they'll be on the same manoeuvre. No, they're jibing. They're jibing their A2. Inside jibe. So there's a different philosophy. Let's see how this one matures.
Well, the essence, am I right, that you can't afford to lose speed. You've got to keep way on in these light airs.
Now, this is because of this huge wind shift, Martin. Yeah. So Camper still under Jenica. Puma staying under Jenica. And it was Abu Dhabi who went to a code 0. So sail selection could be a talking point.
Jerry, what do you reckon? Who's got it right? Who's got it wrong?
Right now, the Abu Dhabi did a brilliant jibe peel. That's a tough maneuver in light air, and they did it beautifully. As you see Camper getting headed right now, and Puma coming up above them, this is a real, could be a shake-up. But the code 0 is very stable in these conditions, and Abu Dhabi seems to be going along nicely. It just depends on how the pressure fills in. And I can see just now, ahead of Abu Dhabi, they'll poke into that pressure very soon and could stretch again.
Could be one of these cases where the rich get richer, and it's
well. Look at Puma and Groupama; they've got some way on now. Camper are just desperately sitting there.
Camper could get rolled here by Puma.
Okay, we're on board at the moment with Team Sanya. Here's that engine room we're talking about. All cylinders running as they go into their manoeuvre and start heading up on the chase. The breeze might just be beginning to fill in after that shift, and whoever's got into it first is going to be off and running. Telefnica now coming down with a bit of pressure.
But it's all Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi
they are off, yeah. And it looks to me as though Puma have rolled over the top of Camper. Groupama are handily placed as well.
At the age of 50, the oldest competitor in the race is returning skipper Ken Reid with Puma Ocean Racing. Nicknamed Mar Mostro, the sea monster, Reid sees his latest campaign as his chance to claim an elusive first Volvo Ocean Race win. with his crew poised to capitalise on vital experience.
This time we've sailed the boat a lot more in breezy conditions leading up to the race. And I think because of that, we trust our boat more than maybe we did last time. You know, I think, do we know yet exactly when to take our foot off the accelerator? Well, I'll tell you at the end of the race if we keep this thing in one piece or not.
The principal target for Puma Ocean Racing is to lift the trophy in Galway next year, but Ken Reid has a more personal yet equally important goal.
I was shocked at how much of an adventure it turned out for me last time. You know, you just saw things, you just experienced things that you would never, ever see in your life. I have to admit, I plan on doing that more. It's one of my personal goals in this race is to make it an adventure. Winning and losing, that's going to happen. You know, the best team's going to win. And do I hope that's us? Of course. But at the same time, I'm going to enjoy myself. I promise you that. This is going to be an adventure.
Meanwhile, the Volvo Ocean Race fleet has reached the closing stages of the Iberdrola import race.
There's the gaggle at the top.
Bit of wind up there now.
The camper seems to be in a little bit of a breeze. But this is a real... look how well Telefnica have done, Jerry. They're right in there now behind Puma.
Yeah, Iker Martinez, it's his hometown. There's no way he's going to hang at the back of the pack. There's too many Olympic medals, I think, holding it back. But he'll throw the medals out and get that boat going.
Well, yeah, it's going to have to need to. We're looking back behind Emirates Team New Zealand. Sorry, behind camper, you can see Puma is away as the camper crew go through it. There's the call from Stu Bannatyne. Well, we're looking at Abu Dhabi and they are up and are running. They're just charging along, and well, we're talking about the importance of how important these races could be, because at this stage you'd have to say Iberdrola, Abu Dhabi are looking like they're in prime position to take this and the points, because we're kicking off with an import race here, the Iberdrola import race in Alicante, and the whole race will end with an import race in Galway in Ireland next July. And who knows, it could well be that the entire 9-month exercise could hinge on an import race. We're watching Abu Dhabi. This is Abu Dhabi. Azam determined, Ian Walker at the helm, and they are heading now. Well, there are smiles all around. This is how Mimosh does it. Well, the shake of hands. This is telling us all we need to know, that this is Ian Walker driving Abu Dhabi Ocean Racing towards the finish of the Iberdrola import race. They're going to take the points. They're going to take the psychological advantage. The Emirates flag is flying as Abu Dhabi hurtle across the line. Handshakes all round. It's a great win for Abu Dhabi Ocean Racing in the first of the import races of the Volvo Ocean Race.
A convincing win for Abu Dhabi Ocean Racing, with Puma Ocean Racing, powered by Berg, edging out Camper Emirates Team New Zealand for second place. Team Sanya takes fourth, with Groupama in fifth, and Team Telefonica bringing up the rear. Abu Dhabi Ocean Racing is the United Arab Emirates entry, featuring the first Emirati sailor ever to take part, whilst Abu Dhabi itself provides the first Middle East stopover in the race's history.
I had a dream to go around the world and sail, and the Volvo came to Abu Dhabi, and I had my dream. I was there, I was happy, my family was happy, all my friends, they pushed me hard to go for it. Now I'm here, and it's great to be with the great team and represent UAE around the world.
Their yacht, Azam, meaning determined, is skippered by one of Britain's most successful sailors, Ian Walker. The 2011 race is his second as skipper, thrust into the fray with Ireland's Green Dragon entry in the last edition.
Last time round, I think back, and we were the underdogs, and we were just really, almost a little bit like Sanya. This time round, our job was to just try and sort of, knock the other guys around once in a while. This time round, what are we? Are we one of the favourites? I don't know, because we're a new team, and the other four teams with new boats are clearly much more established operations who've had longer to train. But I don't feel like an underdog. I feel like, personally, I feel like we've got as good a chance to win this race as anybody else.
Walker leads another veteran team and heads into his second Volvo adventure as skipper with a much broader appreciation of the demands he and his squad will face chasing storm conditions in a Volvo Open 70.
The thing that strikes you instantly, it's just the feeling of power. The boats just have raw power, and even in light winds you can be fully powered up in 8 knots of wind and there's hardly a ripple on the water. It's a big responsibility. You're not just the helmsman, you're pretty much the throttle man as well, and just trying to make the boat go as fast as possible for as long a periods as possible.
So the curtain falls on the opening act of the Volvo Ocean Race, with Abu Dhabi Ocean Racing claiming the spoils. 6 points for Ian Walker's team in the Iberdrola import race. Next for the Volvo Ocean Racing fleet, the call of the ocean, life at the extreme on the high seas.